Aloha, beautiful family. Bliss here to share about tonight's Despacho. Tonight we have a special event, WePod of Unity Transmissions. The pod has been planning this beautiful event with our Kiro indigenous people of the mountains of what is called Peru. We like to say in the fictional fiction because these people really are not of Peru. They are people of the earth, people of Pachamama. And so I shared on a love stream the other day that for over a decade I walked the grid lines of the planet, and I did a lot of work with the indigenous people, a lot of ceremonies, a lot of connection, a lot of carrying of the bundles of the indigenous to sacred sites at special times, special alignments on the planet to take their bundles to certain locations on the planet where they had to go to assist the activation, the awakening of the consciousness of Pachamama. And so because of, in the fictional fiction, there's borders and boundaries, it halted our indigenous shamans on the planet from having the capacity to move to special locations at certain times, because a lot of our true shamanic indigenous on the planet don't have those fictional things called passports. They don't have birth dates. They're not part of the system of the matrix. And so they were unable to fulfill their roles to the earth, their cosmic roles, because many of our indigenous people are connected both to the consciousness of earth, of Gaia or Pachamama, and to the stars. And so their consciousness is not inside of the realms of the Western world. And that's why I did a lot of work to assist the indigenous to move their sacred bundles to sacred sites, because if we think of the earth like, we'll speak in Western terms, a computer motherboard, certain things, certain programs have to go into the motherboard for the operation of the computer, and it's the same as the planet itself. This is what migratory animals do on the planet. They walk the magnetic ley lines, they follow the magnetic lines on the planet, and in doing so, they are assisting the planetary consciousness to be active and alive, because we are all interconnected, and we are not interconnected through external technology. We are all interconnected through life itself, through nature, which is breathing its essence through all of us. And so tonight's ceremony is a very special opportunity. It's a very special honor and offer of the Kiro people to share their gifts in a sacred ceremony called a Despacho. So let's talk about Despachos. And if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Tonight's Despacho is at 6 p.m. Pacific, and all are welcome. And we have all of the information down below if you're interested to join. A Despacho is a clearing and purification ceremony done by the Kiro people. Now, the Kiro people are extremely humble. They are connected to the consciousness of the earth. The root peoples of the planet think of our planet as an individuated consciousness, Pachamama. And so their whole life is about honoring and offering to that consciousness their prayers and their connectivity, their communication with the planetary consciousness itself, which makes these people very, very powerful in their very humble way, because we are riding on a mothership called Gaia. And her consciousness is sophionic. She is a very powerful being, and she's going through a great transformation and transfiguration right now. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting, because tonight's offering is very special. Do not underestimate the power of a Kiro Despacho. Okay, so the planetary body that we are on is waking up. And one of the ways to speak about her process is she's going from terrestrial, carbon-based, to celestial, which is crystalline. So it is a phase shift that is underway on this planet, which is why so many humans are experiencing such transformation in their lives. And whether people are feeling the transformation or not, there is this internal knowing that something big is happening. And to assist us in that huge transformation that is coming from the core of the planet itself, the Kiro are offering ceremonies with us. So for myself in this transmission, the Unity transmission, as I shared, I've collaborated for many years, over a decade, with the Indigenous. The pod that has been following the transmissions with me for many years is assisting to do outreach with the Indigenous. And so the pod has organized this despacho, and our beloved friend RONY from Peru, RONY CAMASA, is I believe he's an anthropologist. I'm going to say he's a very tuned in being, and he's worked very closely with the Kiro indigenous in the area that's called Peru. They live high up in the mountains. They live in connection with the pure elementals themselves. When we say pure elementals, we are not talking about the elementals that humans experience in the Western world. We are talking about live, sentient, elemental beings. And so their connection is a very unique kind of consciousness. All of our consciousness is programmed based on the birthplace where we are raised up, and the social milieu that is put into our consciousness, and then all the ancestral stuff that comes with that as well. The Kiro people have sustained a clear connection with the planetary consciousness. Western people have become very disconnected from the planetary consciousness. So there's a lot of different things going on the planet right now. And the Western world is being given an opportunity to come back in alignment with nature and the planet itself. Tonight's ceremony is an online ceremony with one of our Kiro elders who has come from high in the mountains. We did a ceremony with the Kiro in March, and it was profound. The shaman that we collaborated with, Pablo, it was the first time he had come from the mountains to do anything like this whatsoever. RONY is the liaison. I met RONY in Peru in 2015 when I was asked to carry the corn for the Hopi to South America to do 3 ceremonies with 3 Peruvian shamans to represent the union of the eagle and the condor. And I was carrying an ancient crystal skull at the time as well. And RONY and I met at a very special place, a restaurant called The Shaman. And a lot of things transpired, and we just knew that we had a big connection that would become viable and visible many years later. And it's now, as we are doing these sharings with the shamans who are coming out of the mountains, many of them for the first time, to share their gifts with the Western world, to assist us to bridge our consciousness with the planetary consciousness and the cosmic consciousness itself, to make it easeful to ride this tsunami wave of transformation that is upon us all. This wasn't something that humans got taught about in Western school. So basically, the forerunners and the leaders on the planet right now are our indigenous elders who have sustained their connection with the consciousness of the planet itself. The despacho tonight will include a purification. The elder will be doing many things. Our Kiro elder will be doing many things, making many offerings to the planet. They say that we have, used this planet. That's not their words, but they say that the planet is not acknowledged enough. And so in the ceremony, the shaman will make offerings from all of us to the consciousness of Pachamama, because we are on a living being, a mothership that is flying through space, so to speak, and she has her own destination. We have a choice if we want to align with that destination. And so he will be making many offerings, and Ronnie will be translating for us the entire ceremony, just as he did in March. It was profound. It was so touching to all of us who participated. If you're interested, there's links in the description box, 6 p.m. Pacific tonight. And the ceremony will also take from our energy bodies, because we are energy beings, and this is all about energy. Will assist us to release from our energy bodies everything that we no longer need. As we release that from our energy bodies in alignment, in a unity consciousness field, this is how humanity will make these quantum leaps, not by ourselves inside of our little ego. It comes from collaboration of sharing our gifts. And tonight, and for 2 days following tonight, the Carol will be doing private one-on-one healing sessions. Links, information all down below. Tonight is a group gathering. And so they're offering their gifts to us. We all have gifts. The Kiro are offering their gifts. Guillermo tonight, who is our shaman, will be offering his gifts to assist our energy bodies to make a very big shift through the Despacho ceremony, which, as we say, is a clearing and an offering to the planetary consciousness. And so it will all be explained by Ronnie. It's so beautiful to learn about these cosmic beings and their knowledge and their wisdom that was not affected by the teachings of the Western world, was not affected by all of the socialization placed on humanity in the Western world through the churches, the missionaries, all those things that broke the connection of our consciousness with the cosmic and with all of the energies that are around us all the time, that are watching and listening and tuning in and supporting. This is a ceremony of connection with the ancestors, with the elementals, with the cosmic consciousness and the planetary consciousness, to bring us into alignment and harmony, to assist us. Just imagine if we were on a surfboard surfing and we didn't know all the clues, all the codes for how to balance on that surfboard. It's like, you got to jump up, and then you got to get one foot in front of the other, and then you want to look straight ahead, and you don't want to look down. You want to look where you're going. All these things that we learn when we surf, exactly the same in a ceremony like this. We will be receiving the gifts of the elder who is doing the ceremony to come into balance and harmony and alignment with all of these energies that we can't see or perceive with our human senses. We might know are there. And we have this great opportunity to be with our Kiro, to come into energetic alignment with this together, with what is happening from within. And when we know how to surf, when the surf instructor assists us, when the Kiro shaman assists us, it makes life more wonderful. It makes things easeful in every way. It assists us. So we are receiving these beautiful, heartfelt sharings of these traditions that have carried on for probably tens of thousands of years in linear time. by these people who have sustained their relationship with the planet itself. So if you're interested, the Despacho is tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific. As we say, all the information is down below. And then if you're interested in a one-on-one healing, that will be the next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. Information down below for who to contact. Our beloved Sophia Love, Inspiring Light, and Illumina have been very focused on bringing this forward for creating the container and the Facebook page, event page, and so on. So we thank you so much for all of that collaboration. And Ronnie has been getting our Kiro Elder ready for tonight's ceremony in Cusco. And this is like a bridging of energies of those who are really tuned in, turned on. And so if you are interested in the healing, it is advised that you participate in the Despacho tonight. All of the resources that are being invited are going directly to the Kiro. The Kiro are very subsistent on, the planet itself. They require very few things that require the exchange of money. These simple ceremonies and healings are also a way to support them financially for the things that they do come down from the mountains into the towns to receive. And Ronnie explained that they had a very difficult time during COVID because there was no tourists coming to Peru. And so this is also an outreach to support them as well. And simultaneously, the bigger picture of what is happening for certain is that it is the time of the interweaving of intelligences and consciousnesses and different peoples on the planet weaving our miraculous gifts together to unify our human family as one. So please join us tonight. We are joyous. And we're excited for this ceremony, the one that the pod did in March. Absolutely profound. And just to give anyone a description who might be interested, who says like, well, what do you mean it's powerful? What might I expect? Let's put it this way. For myself, what I experienced was things that I was trying to clear out of my mind, my consciousness, patterns, thoughts, whatever. It was like instantly. Energetically, instantly gone. The whole pod woke up the next day after the Despacho, and it was like, it's almost like if someone is towing like, heavy luggage, burden across, the Despacho releases that energy so that one just wakes up and says, wow, I feel like completely different. I don't know what just happened. That is how powerful the Despacho and the healings are. And so these heavy burdens we don't need to carry, we don't need to bear. We just haven't necessarily been taught the tools in the Western world of how to shift out of those energies. And so people recycle around over and over again and experience a lot of suffering and separation because they can't break free energetically. This ceremony assists the energetic breaking free. And we are just going to add Ronnie onto this love stream as well. There he is. Okay, and so we're joyous for tonight. Please join us. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Try something new. There's so much going on. Just the invitation is just try something new. See what happens. We love so much. And I'm going to jump to another love stream now to talk about some other things. So stay tuned because there's another love stream coming up. We love so much. Aloha. Mwah.